All right, welcome everyone to our Tuesday night team call. Thanks so much for being here. So this is our second call in our little series of 12 Days of Christmas. So we've been giving away a couple different prizes on each call. So we're doing 3 gifts per call. Just by showing up, you get entered. I've got the names here. I'm going to spin the wheel when Victoria tells me to, and we'll do some giveaways. So thanks for being here, and you guys will all be entered in for giveaways, which is always fun. And don't forget that on the 15th, we are having our team call as our team Christmas party. So we're going to do a Christmas party Zoom. It's going to be super fun. Come in your PJs or an ugly Christmas sweater or whatever you want. And we did a mug exchange. So if you guys wanted to take part in that, we were just pairing up, and you send a mug to someone on our team. They send one to you. Super fun. There's still time because there is Amazon Prime and it only takes a few days. So you have plenty of time to jump in on that if you want before the 15th. So you can find that post on the team page if you haven't participated yet and you want to. But tonight, Victoria Albright is going to be sharing with us. She just has some motivation that she wants to share with us, and I know that it's going to be amazing. So I am just going to turn it right over to her and let her get started, and then we can have some discussion afterward. So go ahead, Victoria.
All right, thank you. And I cannot take credit for this. I actually got the motivation for this from Emily Gibson and Brooke Hemingway's Momentum Maker group, and it's amazing. So I think they're doing it like every quarter. You should look into it because it is so good. Okay. But tonight I wanted to talk about igniting the spark in our business and keeping the fire and the flame lit. So I know for those, I think most of us have been on at least since June, right? We know June was our huge, big momentum month. And so we've kind of been talking about how this business ebbs and flows. But I really liked the analogy that Brooke and Emily used about how our business is like a fire. And so you'll be hearing me reference this analogy a lot throughout tonight. So like I said, we're going to talk about how to ignite the spark in our business and build a fire that's going to last without burning out, without us burning out our potential business builders or our customers, right? Because burnout is a real thing. And so we want to make sure that we don't fall into that trap. So building a long-lasting fire takes work. And it's kind of like a marriage, right? Like you have to work at it, and you have to keep getting that kindling and tending to the fire. Otherwise, it's going to end. It's going to go out if you don't continuously tend to it. And I'm not an Eagle Scout or anything like that, but right, if you want that fire to keep going, you have to make sure you have all the supplies. You have to make sure that you are watching it. And it's okay to take a step back and watch it and relax, but you need to also be ready for when it starts to die down. What are you going to do, right? So like I said, on the flip side, I think it's important for us to know, even though we can be completely plugged in with this job at all times, that's not healthy. And that's where that burnout is going to come in. And so it's okay that we don't work full time, that we don't work 40 hours to say, oh, this is a legitimate business. We don't have to do that. In fact, on the call that we were on with Alita, who's our diamond upline, I think she said, and Brittany can correct me if I'm wrong, but she spends like 4 hours a day.
Doing 3 to 4 hours.
So it's okay to take a step back and to do the things that you need to be if you're efficient in your work, right? So that way, you can take a step back and relax and you don't burn out. And one of the ways you can do this is by having strong systems in place. And I feel like as a team, we have really strong systems in place. So if we stay true to those systems, we can be really efficient in our work. And so if you don't know where to find our systems for like onboarding, or if somebody comes to you and they say, hey, I want to get my products paid for, or maybe they even say, hey, I want to run with this. We do have systems in place for step-by-step what you can do to help them. So just ask one of us if you don't know where to find those, because we actually have a document that kind of spells out what you need to do. So I'm going to take a breath. Brittany, let's do our first drawing.
Okay, spinning the wheel. It is coral.
Yay! Coral, awesome. Are you going to write this down or do you want me to? I can't hear you, you're muted.
Sorry, I will write it down and I'm going to put it in the chat.
Okay, coral, and then I'm going to message you guys. So this one is for a $5 gift card. I don't really care. Like, as long as I can email you electronically, y'all can choose if it's Target, Amazon, Starbucks, I don't care. So $5 gift card coming your way, Coral. Awesome. Okay, so how do we ignite that spark? Right? We can have all the supplies that we want, but if we don't ignite the spark, it's just going to be a bunch of coals and kindling and not coals. Yeah, coals. I guess it depends what you use. See, no Eagle Scout here, but you have to ignite the spark, and it starts with you. So it comes with an energy too, right? If you're not passionate and you're not energetic about what you're doing and excited to show up every single day, your team and your customers are not going to be either. So you have to bring the fire. You have to bring the spark, even on days that you don't feel like it. And that comes from everything to showing up daily and leading by example, to your inflection, your posture, your like how animated you are, and you don't pretend to be somebody you're not, but also, bring that excitement with your team in a way that's authentic to you. So make sure that you are bringing that heat and that you are igniting the spark. And they said, like, be others focused. You want to be that person that can light a fire anywhere you go. Okay, so that also means, like I mentioned before, you might not always be feeling it. You might not always want to show up, but if you want 100% back, you have to give 100%. And so I know with Sarah's IPA challenge, we talked about do it anyway, right? Like, even if it's scary to you, even if you're having a day, that's okay. Acknowledge those feelings, take a little break, but then come back to it. Don't use it as an excuse to take a week off or 2 weeks off. Just, acknowledge it and move on, because then the fire is out, and then it takes a while to ignite that fire again. And sometimes it can be really easy to get caught up in that doom and gloom of the ebbs and flow of our business. So for example, like if you messaged a bunch of people and you only heard back from so many, sometimes we get caught up in this, like, oh, no one is responding. Like, I don't, and I've said this before, and it can be really, really frustrating, but just be careful who you're dooming and glooming to. So you don't want to doom and gloom to your whole team, right? Find a person that you can confide in. So for me, that's like Brittany. And so I know that I can, kind of vent to her, but then still stay positive for my team and my customers, because we don't want that cloud to come over our whole team. That's going to put out the fire. So sorry, I keep referencing the fire, but I felt like it was such a good analogy. And just a little perspective for you guys, like for Black Friday deals, I had a huge chart paper list of over 80 people that I reached out to, and I signed up 4. So I could say, oh, I only signed up 4 out of 80 people that I messaged, and I could have doom and gloomed all day, and I did for a hot second to Brittany. I don't remember what day that was. I was like, no one's responding. What's going on? Or I could say, oh my gosh, I signed up 4 people. That is amazing. And I am going to help those 4 people, and I'm going to focus on them, and I'm going to love on them, and I'm going to help them help others if they choose. So really what you focus on expands. So make sure that you remember that too. So set a rule for yourself, no more doom and gloom. Okay. So how do we find that spark? How do we get up every single day and ignite that spark to keep us going, to keep us #doing it anyway? And we get that from our heart, and we have to dig down deep and find out our why. And so I liked this because it kind of ties in with, if you looked at the post about the diamonds in December, And today's Diamond in December, she talked about your why, and there was a TED Talk with Simon Sinek in it talking about the importance of your why. And so what I just wanted to do, and we'll do a second drawing here in a second, was this isn't something that you can just sit down and do in 5 minutes, but after I do this drawing, I want us to maybe just take a minute and think about, like, visualize your why, or start to, or make a note to do this at some point this week. Like, just pray on it, think about it, visualize it, because this will really help you wake up and just find that passion and ignite that spark. So while we do the second drawing, kind of be thinking, and if anyone wants to share their why or share if they are struggling finding their why, please do. But let's do our second drawing for $5.
Okay.
Starbucks, Target,
Amazon, your choice, right?
Yep. As long as I can email it.
It is Kim Bareka, the big winner.
Woohoo! All right, Kim. Awesome. So does anyone want to share? Because I need to take a breather because I feel like I forget to breathe when I speak. Like, who here knows their why, or maybe who has zero idea, or maybe you kind of know. Does anyone want to share?
I will totally let other people share and talk. But one of the things I loved from the video, and guys, you have to watch these Diamond in December videos. Like, do you all shower every day? Most likely, right? Put it on and just listen to it while you shower. Like, pick some kind of daily routine. You don't have to watch it. You just need to listen. Like, just hear it. It's like 5 or 6 minutes long, each one. There's one every single day. But one of the things I loved from the training today was that you need to refresh your why. Some of you have been with Plexus like multiple years now, right? So the reason that you started has most likely changed, or you've accomplished your why. Maybe you wanted to get your products paid for and now you did. Like, my why has evolved and changed. And so I was really challenged by that. Like, wow, I need to go back because it's not really compelling anymore. It's not making me like want to get out of bed in the morning and like, woohoo, let's do this. So if you're not feeling like that when you think about your why, then it's time to refresh it.
Anybody else want to share? And it's okay. Like, I was telling somebody today, I was telling Nicole actually, that I really have been struggling with reevaluating my why and really visualizing long-term what I want. And that it's hard. So if anyone wants to share if they resonate with that.
I can say that my why was I wanted to get more products 2 years ago because I love the products. And so this past year, like even last December, I wasn't doing the business. But then January, Brittany helped me start really focusing on trying to get new people under me. And my why changed from getting my products paid for to helping other people. I was talking for a long time with Amber today, and I'm struggling a little because I've gone gold and I've stayed gold for 4 months, but I'm doing it by myself. I do not have one business builder. And the person that did go silver, I have 2 people silver under me. One of them that went silver decided she doesn't want to do it anymore. And the other one just has part-time job, 2 little kids. So I'm really struggling to find that business builder. So I feel alone sometimes in it, but it's worth it because, like, last night I signed up one of my friends from 30 years ago. She has cancer, so she actually wasn't allowed to sign up, but her husband signed up. It was Tim and Debbie. She can't start the products till after her chemo is done. So her husband signed up, and then she'll sign up under him. So that's just like, that's so cool. That's just awesome to help people. So my prayer and my real focus is trying to get someone who's excited about the business like I am. But if not, I'm going to press on.
I love that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. It is, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute about like finding that business builder, because that's really hard. And that is super impressive that you are, did that all by yourself. That's really, really a testament to your consistency and hard work. But yeah, and the thing for me is that I feel like it's kind of gone up and down. And on the video, I think she mentioned today on the diamond in December that your why can be about people, and that's fine, but there also has to be a part of it that's about you. Otherwise, on those days that you're not feeling it, like, you're not going to always show up just for other people. And if you are, God bless your heart. But like, I don't know, I just, there is a piece of it that is very personal. And so it's okay to have a personal goal in this business and work towards that. So keep that in mind too. Okay, awesome. So yeah, just continue to work on that. I would encourage you to write it down, visualize it. If you are praying type, pray on it. And talk about it with your spouse too. Like, what do you want your lives to look like 5-10 years down the road from now? So definitely make it a family thing as well. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so we were talking about how we're going to get there. And this kind of piggybacks from what Kim was saying. And so you have to think about, okay, you have your why, how are you going to get there? And so I feel like I can resonate with this too. A lot of times we're looking for that accelerant, if you will, if we're going back to the fire, of what's going to like really give us that big fire, and like, we're just going to run with it, like pour the gasoline on. I need some gasoline. Like, it's going to be great. But the thing is, okay, if we go back to the fire analogy, gasoline actually makes the fire weak. It only makes it strong for a short amount of time. So a lot of times when we find these people who are ready to run and do the business, they might burn out quickly. And so think about, for us, right? Like, I think most of us on the call probably didn't sign up saying, I'm going to run with this business. I'm going to be diamond in 3 years. Like, I think most of us started for the products and then kind of started sharing here and there. And like, here we are. So just keep that in mind. And I have this visual, and don't laugh at my drawing because I'm a former elementary school teacher and not an artist. But Emily Gibson was saying that the power is in the coals. So we need to tend to the coals. Those are the hottest things. We have to keep those coals going. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see it or no? No?
You just vanished.
This silly background. Okay. Anyway, I don't know how to do. I don't know. Anyway, imagine the flame is that you're a gold. Okay, let's say you're gold level. You're the fire. You're the blazing fire. Your logs are your silvers, or people who have shared with 3 people, and the coal underneath your silvers are those +1s. So like, if you have silvers underneath of you and they just share with one more person and one more person and one more person, like, that is what is so powerful, is just helping people find one accountability partner, one person to do it with, because that is, and you can also say the power of 3. Really, I think anything is super powerful with 1, 2, or 3 people. But if somebody shares with one person, they might be more likely to share with 2, especially with these incentives this month. If they share with 2, they might say, oh, I might as well shoot for silver. So it's really, the power is in the coals and just adding one person. So remember that with this, tap rooting is super important. If you don't know what that means, basically it's building relationships with everybody on your team, even if it's a level 2, 3, 4, 5, tap rooting in deep. Build those relationships with them. Find out what their health goals are. Not just about Plexus too. Find out, what do they do? What do they like to do? What are their hobbies? Because that is going to keep your fire going when you build those relationships with them and really connect with them on a personal level. So don't always go for the gasoline, right? Because it takes time. You gotta just focus on what you have. And then also, like I said, work on following the fire. So if you, keeping it simple, like, we have these systems in place. So let's not try to work too hard. We know what we need to do. So if we just do it and deliver and don't overwork, like with our 3-day challenges and Facebook wellness events, like we don't have to always reinvent the wheel. Let's keep it simple. We know what we need to do, and let's just keep that fire burning. So what I was going to encourage you guys to do, and I don't want to keep us too much longer, but whether it's tonight, tomorrow, this week, go back, look at the people that you've added in November, October, September, whenever, and have them invite others to a wellness event. I just talked with Brittany about this, that I would love to host a wellness, or like have us host a wellness event, because our incentives the first couple weeks of December are really huge. When somebody adds 2 people, they earn that free product that's coming out in January. So if we can just help others find 1 person or 2 more people, I think that that would be really beneficial. So that's really all I wanted to say, was that if we just, slow and steady, do the consistent things, we know what we need to do, that we can keep a steady fire and keep our business running smoothly. So thank you guys. Do you have any questions, comments?
That was amazing. Thank you so much for that reminder. Are you doing a third prize? Should I spin this wheel one more time?
I am. Yeah,
Okay.
Go for it.
So, because I hold the wheel, I'll just talk for 1 second. I want to give you guys a tip, and this is something that I heard from another person, but I've seen people do this wrong, and it really affects your business. And that is the starting and the stopping. If you want to grow and keep that fire going, even if you're just tending it a little bit, like keeping it alive, do not start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. Like people that take forever to get to the rank they want, or to, accomplishing what their why is, it's because they started and they stopped and they started. Just keep going. Even if, like, we've been talking to people, like, what's realistic for you? Is it working your business 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, like whatever it is? Awesome. Like, I respect that you're busy. Whatever you can do, like, we will help you figure out what IPA is going to be most important for you to do in that time, and do it every single day. Like, that's one of the keys to keeping that fire stoked, is just keep going, be consistent, don't start and stop. And I love the analogy of a rising tide lifts all the ships, right? So you have to think of yourself with your team, whether that's 1 person or you don't have anybody yet, but you're putting yourself out there on social media or whatever. You are the one who's going to rise that tide and then lift your whole team with you. You are the one who creates the momentum. It's not something that's going to knock you over and you're just going to ride the wave. You have to create it and lift your team up. So some of that is just acting like a leader, even when you don't feel like it. Even when you're mad that, your order's taking too long to get here, or, they ran out of product or whatever. Like, sometimes it's just getting your head in the game and acting like a leader for your team, even if you're not feeling it, and having that bulletproof why. So back to that Diamonds in December training, when your why is bulletproof, nothing can derail you, right? Like a bad morning, crazy kids, I don't feel like it, I'm too busy. None of that can derail you if your why is bulletproof. Okay. So if you haven't watched that, you got to go back and watch it. But those are the notes I jotted down. That was super good, Victoria. Thank you so much. Okay. Spinning the wheel.
And I was going to say too, it's okay to be frustrated about like products coming late or whatever. Like, that's fine. As long as you're not like, if you have somebody else that's just like a new ambassador, and, just keep cool for them and reassure them that Plexus will make it right. But yeah, because
just like you
so
said, like, vent to your upline, right?
Yeah.
Like, tell all your frustration and get it all out, and then show up like a leader for your team. 100%. The winner is Kristen. You are the lucky lady. You won last week.
Yay! Kristen, go get out of the house and get a Starbucks when Mike comes home.
She said no Starbucks. Send her Amazon.
Oh yeah, that's right. Buy yourself some, I don't know what. Okay, I'll text you. Anything else, you guys? Thank you for listening.
I know someone else has a thought here on their why. Or like, does someone want to be brave and be like, I've never written it down?
I have not written mine down in a long time, but yeah, I would love to hear.
So I was talking to Victoria today, and can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I just don't have a big enough why. And I really believe that's why I'm not growing at the pace that I was before. My why before was to get my products paid for, show up for my family in a way that I couldn't, by not working and all of those things. And like, I just want to help the underdog at this point, but I just don't know how to do it. Like, the less fortunate people, like I see single moms and different things. And like, I've tried to do that before. Paid for membership, but she literally had never even bought anything. And it's Leah, I don't know if you, but like, I just wonder, like, because I did that, it never gave her like the incentive to move forward. So I've been hesitant to do it again, even though I have this girl who I know would like benefit from the business and the products. So that's my why, but I'm just figuring out how I can utilize like my passion of doing that to fuel, the less fortunate, I guess.
Yeah, that can be hard when money isn't like an issue for you. Because I feel like money is such a driver for some people, but it's not for everybody. And so that can be difficult.
Yeah, but sometimes it's quality of life too. Like Brooke Hemingway,
Right.
she didn't need the money, but her quality of life was terrible. And I think sometimes we even prejudge like, oh, they don't want to do the business because they're, a nurse or they're a teacher, they're making, plenty of money, but it's the finances for a lot of people. And it's the quality of their life, of their work, of their free time for others. But I do think there has to be like some skin in the game. Like there has to be some buy-in. So I know a lot of you have like huge hearts, yellow personalities that want to just like give. But even if you like offer someone a big like incentive to join or whatever, because they want to do the business, they need like a little bit of skin in the game just because it's a good motivator. Like it just helps you want to show up. And same thing with your why. Like it needs a pain point, right? Like there has to be something in your why that's like, okay, here's my dream, here's what I'm working towards. And if I don't achieve this, then I will not be able to XYZ. Like there has to be some kind of pain point if you don't achieve it, because that's a really good motivator as well. But yeah, thanks for sharing, Nicole. I wrote down, Nicole, we need to work on a bigger why. So we will revisit that with you for sure.
I would definitely weigh in on that, Nicole, because I have given away products more than once to multiple people. I gave away an elliptical to somebody because I just felt like somebody who had used the products and they wanted weight loss, and the other two people had other issues that they were working through, and all of them really needed the products, like real issues, like, really need the products. And if they would have stayed on the products, I know that they would have seen results. And, for most of them, it was like by month 2 where they, get to like, I don't want to spend the money. I've given away bags I've paid for it, sent it to them. And that's 3 people right there over the span of the last year and a half, that not that I was looking for anything from that, but they didn't buy after. They complained about having to buy the next month. And it was kind of like, wow, like you won't even continue. And I did that, like, because they didn't put the money out, they probably didn't really take it consistently. They didn't care. So I understand helping, but maybe the helping is in pushing them to do the things, and like Brittany said, like having skin in the game, because otherwise you're just handing them something, and I think people can be a little ungrateful, unfortunately. I don't know.
Yeah, I've experienced that too, Sarah.
I think it's even sometimes as little as the samples that we send too. Like how many times do people ask for samples and I message them and they're like, oh, I haven't had time to drink it. dude, it's literally taking a bottle of water, dumping it in, shaking it up and drinking it. What do you mean you didn't have time to drink it? So even something as little, like that was $5, you know? So yeah, I get you guys.
Yes, I've so been there too. And you need to say that. You need to be like, hey, I this to you. You really need to just put it. I mean, when
I've
I
been
got
doing that.
first back slim, I treated it like it was gold. I like made sure none of the like little particles fell out, like because it was expensive for me. And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
doing this. Like they need that like compelling reason to like want to go silver. So yes, been there.
And don't forget, don't the new ambassadors get free samples to send out?
Three.
Three on the app. So don't forget about that. I forgot about that for a hot second. So we need to get these people sending samples out, or yeah, get them sending samples out.
Yeah, and I know it's after 9, so we'll wrap it up. But I'm gonna do a post on our team page, like that you can tag your new ambassadors in. Like, did you know when you joined, you got 3 free samples? Like, here's how you send them. Who could you send this to? Your mom, your best friend, whatever. And then like we can tag people and be like, oh my word, did you send these yet? Yeah, because like Victoria said, there's so much goodness. Like if you add people in the beginning of the month, there's like all these extra incentives. We really want to help people get going.
I was just going to add in that I literally wrote that down today as part of the onboarding. Like we should be letting them know about the Plexus Engage app and that they have this three samples, even if you just refer to it as, hey, send this to your best friend, your mom, and your sister. Because even if, they might be like, ooh, and love it, and not even like be like concerned with like adding anybody, if that makes sense, but like use those samples up, they're there.
Right.
And that goes back to like tap rooting. You can ask them if the person loves it to start a group chat, and then you take over, and there you go.
Yes.
Amber reminded me today too that if they stick with it for the second month, they get 250 free perks. So that's really cool too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, they get 250 perks for signing up. And then when their subscription goes through for the first time on that second month, they have enough for a free product.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Any last thoughts before I stop the recording here?
I'm going to chime in about I love what you just said, Britt, about like the quality of life, because I feel like that's where I'm at right now. And I've talked about this many a times with my why, because I have my 3 different jobs that I do: ultrasound, Plexus, and candles. And it's right now I'm just trying to find like what the balance is. I love my job doing ultrasound, but it can be very stressful. So I want to be able to do more with Plexus so that I don't have to pick up more days at the hospital. And have better quality of life. I love that you just said that. It kind of like was like, oh, maybe that's what I want.
Yeah, right.
Because I tend to find myself like, if somebody asks me to cover or whatever, I'm always like, money. Like, okay, I'll cover for you. Because like, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? If I don't have anything else going on that day, why wouldn't I pick up an extra shift? But I'm trying to like change my mindset with it and think like, okay, well, those days that I have off, I should be pouring into my candles and into Plexus. So I'm trying that for the month of December, because I didn't do too good for November. I picked up all kinds of extra stuff. I don't know. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I love that. Right. It doesn't have to be about money. It can be about time. Absolutely. All right. Let me stop the recording here.